Welcome, golfers. I am your host, Pace the Ace ND. You can find me on Twitter right here. And welcome to the Two Grooves Low Show on YouTube, where you'll find all the greatest and latest PGA Tour news, along with the wonderful, great content that we have on Two Grooves Low between myself and a few other golfers. All the content can be found on our YouTube page, Facebook, and Twitter right here. It was a disappointing final day to the Arnold Palmer Invitational on Sunday. Francesco Molinari definitely earned his 11th PGA Tour victory with his 12 under par score, including a fantastic 8 under on the final day. He drained a 45-foot putt on the 18th hole to take the clubhouse lead at -12, and his fist pump was one for the ages. I had a joke there, but I forgot it. His fist pump, it was phenomenal. It was electric. He kind of pointed to the sky, went like this, and then walked off and grabbed his ball after giving his fellow golfer, his fellow opponent, a handshake there to go into the clubhouse with that lead. So no one really threatened Francesco Molinari, and that kind of sucked. You know, it was good golf all around, but throughout the day, no one really threatened his lead. You saw Rory McIlroy; he tried to make a push, but never really made that push. He was there on the final day, and which kind of sucked for himself and his fans like myself. It just sucks to see kind of Rory, what's kind of happened to him lately. Got married in 2017 in the spring, I believe, and his only victory since being married was last year's Arnold Palmer Invitational. So it would have been cool to see him go back-to-back from last year to this year and win this tournament twice in 2 years. And it'd just be one of the greatest storylines in all of golf, I think. You know, be McIlroy winning the Arnold Palmer Invitational back-to-back years, and then another few years, and that was the only tournament that he would win after he got married in 2017. He'd have this long career, wonderful career, but the only tournament that he would ever win would be the Arnold Palmer Invitational. I think that would just be the greatest storyline. And once he retires, he's just sitting somewhere out in Ireland drinking an Arnold Palmer. But I think that would have been the greatest storyline. So it's tough to see Rory not win this. Other players that tried to make a push on the final day were Matthew Fitzpatrick, the youngest young gun. They like to call him, you know, the super young guy. He tried to match Molinari's. He finished second, but he couldn't find the fairway, couldn't find the bottom of the cup on the final holes. He was spraying his driver left and a few to the right, and he found himself in the thick rough there at the golf course there at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. And then we had three guys finish in third at minus: Tommy Fleetwood, Rafe Cabrera-Bello, along with Sungjae Im. They all finished at -9 for third place, and right behind Fitzpatrick, there were 8 golfers that finished within four shots of the winner. But none of them, like I said, none of them made that real legitimate push. And there were some big names at the top, like I said, Rory, and then obviously you have Fleetwood, who's big, and Cabrera-Bello is also a big name. Is there? They just couldn't get there. And at the end of the day, Molinari played out of his butt. No one was going to catch him, especially the way he was putting. But the real takeaway from this golf tournament this past Sunday, yesterday, was this crazy stat. Not even really a stat. Because it doesn't really involve statistics, I suppose, but it's legit. It's a statement of fact. Kind of a weird trend more than scary. But before Justin Rose's latest victory on the PGA Tour, he signed a new club deal. A few weeks later, Ricky Fowler also won a tournament recently, and that was before he inked a new golf ball deal with TaylorMade. And now Molinari wins yesterday, and that came after he signed a new club deal. So there's a trend there, you know. People are signing new deals and they're winning. And is that giving them more confidence? Is that kind of resetting the dial? You know, hey, let's ink a new apparel deal and let's reset the dial and let's be a new man. Let's get a new golf ball on my tee, be a new man. Let's get some new clubs in my bag. Different journey, new journey. In other news, this story has been going on for most of the season so far, but the PGA Tour pros versus the USGA, the relationship is, you know, on the brink of just being done forever. Obviously, it is going to get repaired. It has to get repaired, because if it's not repaired, there's no golf. You know, it's that tension between the players and the rules. That's just not good. We can't have that. They have to be on the same page. But this, like I said, the story's been going on for a little bit, but I wanted to cover it because it is important. 2 weeks ago, Justin Thomas had this to say about a PGA Tour player being given a 2-stroke penalty because his caddy was standing directly behind him as that player addressed the ball in the sand trap. His caddy was standing right behind him. He addressed the ball, swung, Two-stroke penalty. Can't do that. That's a new rule. You cannot do that. Seems odd, but it's a fact. Rules are rules. Funny I say that because JT went on Twitter and quote tweeted somebody that said hashtag play by the rules. It's not that hard. Here's what JT had to say. Totally agree. I more say things in hopes that the USGA starts communicating with the players to better the game and the sport. The rules are the rules, he said. No getting past that. Just hoping going forward, communication is had and all golfers benefit from any changes. Okay, sign. USGA responded by saying this: Justin, we need to talk. You've canceled every meeting we planned with you, but we are reaching out again. We were at the first 5 events and tournaments last year, and your tour has had a seat at the table for 7 years. We'd love nothing more than to give you a seat. Call us. Thomas then told a few media outlets a couple days after at his latest tournament that he was upset with the USGA because their tweet wasn't accurate one bit. Thomas said he has been busy with tournaments over the past few weeks, so he wasn't able to talk to the USGA. He wasn't canceling or anything like that or brushing them off. He was just busy and they weren't able to meet. So a few days later, the USGA_PR Twitter account tweeted this, which JT retweeted. After further and more direct conversations with JT, we realized he did not avoid a discussion with the USGA nor cancel any meetings. We value his and all players' opinions and are committed to a productive dialogue as the golf world adjusts to the modernization of these rules. So it's just an interesting battle between players and the Rules Association something that will definitely have to get fixed. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this right now, and we'll keep an eye on this because right now it's just all Twitter talk. So nothing's really happened. As of right now, nothing's really came out of it. So right now it's all just Twitter beef, but we'll keep you updated if it all comes to surface. And our third and final story from the past few days, a web.com player, Max Rutliff, is a professional golfer and a barista. Did you see that coming? Because I sure didn't after I read the headline. Rutliff's coffee drinking hobby happened around when he was at Arizona State at college golf. And he just with a few buddies, and they'd kind of go to different spots and drink coffee together and just kind of talk about it. And they ended up making a cool logo for their little cool club, if you want to call it that. And Rutliff later met up with one of the world's most professional, I guess, I didn't know this was a thing, but one of the most famous baristas out there, Dritten Alcella. If I'm saying that correctly, congrats to me. It's a tough name, but I know his first name is Dritten. And the two of them met this past winter again in LA, and the famous coffee artist brought the professional golfer on stage for a demonstration in one of his showings. And Rutliff now is like all in on the coffee game. Like can't get enough about it. He's not just watching Netflix stuff. He's like reading books about it and talking to these professional, coffee artists. And so it's just kind of a fun story here in the golf world, something that you don't see a lot. So if you ever are in the Scottsdale, Arizona area, and if you're looking for a really good coffee, maybe hit up one of the Scottsdale coffee shops, and maybe you'll see the professional web.com tour golf here, Max Rutliff. So keep an eye on that. He said his favorite coffee drink to make is a cortado, a small drink with equal parts of milk and espresso. That story now has me in the mood for a little bit of coffee, but maybe instead of milk, put a little brandy in there, huh? That tastes maybe a little better. All right, golf fans, that is your latest golf news from the past week. Congrats to Francesco Molinari on getting the win. You know, everyone says Mondays suck. Mondays don't suck because it's the start of a new week. Mondays suck because there's no more golf until Thursday. That's why Mondays suck. The players began this week here at the stadium course with a purse of $12.5 million. So you'll want to catch up with all the greatest and latest PGA Tour news on Thursday. We'll have another video coming out later this week after someone is holding